You know, if you think like, what is education? Like, you're basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain. And it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education, because like, it shouldn't be like this huge chore. Like, the more you can gamify the process of learning, the better. To the degree that you can make somehow learning like a game, it's better. And I think, unfortunately, like, a lot of education is very vaudevillian. You've got someone standing up there kind of lecturing at people, and they've done the same lecture 20 years in a row, and they're not very excited about it. That lack of enthusiasm, you know, is conveyed to the students. They're not very excited about it. They don't know why they're there. Why are we learning this stuff? We don't even know why. In fact, I think a lot of things people learn are probably there's no point in learning them, because they never use them in the future. Well, you have to say, like, people, I think, don't stand back and say, well, why are we teaching people these things? And we should tell them probably why we're teaching these things. Because a lot of kids are just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there. So I think that's pretty important, and just make it entertaining. But I think just in general, like, conventional education should be massively overhauled. And I think if you can explain the why of things, then that makes a huge difference to people's motivation. And they understand purpose.
So tying it to solving a problem is, I think, very powerful for establishing relevance and getting kids excited about what they're working on and having the knowledge stick. Like, what is a solar panel? How does orbital dynamics work? How do we power this thing? How do batteries work? Electronics, control systems. Then you're like, oh, we want to make our satellite work. That's why we need to understand all these disciplines. There are definitely some good schools out there, but I think some of the mistakes, at least in my opinion, that I see being made in education is that the teachers do not explain why kids are being taught a subject. You know, just sort of get dumped into math and like, well, why are you learning math? What's the point of this? Or why am I being asked to do these strange problems? You know, it's the difference between if you say, well, we're going to take apart this engine and see how it works and put it back together again. And then in order to take the engine apart, we need, you know, wrenches and screwdrivers and a winch and Allen keys and whatnot. And then in the course of solving the problem of taking the engine apart and putting it back together, you learn about wrenches and screwdrivers and all the tools that you need. And then now you understand the relevance. This is why wrenches are important. You know, whereas if you had a class on wrenches, you know, the why of things is extremely important, because our brain has evolved to not discard information that it thinks has a relevance. So then, if on the one hand you're being asked to memorize or learn, say, formulas, but you do not know why this is the case, then you have this cognitive dissonance of, it seems irrelevant, but I'm being told to remember it, so I'll be punished. So I better remember it. So the why of things is very important, and picking a problem and then using various educational tools to solve that problem, using math or physics or economics to solve that problem, is far more engaging than teaching the tools.